what parents need to know about protecting their kids online. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Steve Doerner. He's Victim Advocate Coordinator for NOVA, or the Network of Victim Assistance. Thanks so much for being with us, Steve.
Hi, Jill. Thanks for having me.
This is a conversation that every parent needs to have with their child, but at what age should we start talking to kids about safety and social media?
Well, while most social media platforms have a 13-year-old age limit, we're finding that more and more children are using that earlier. We're finding children as young as 9, 10 years old are accessing various social media platforms, including online gaming that has social media components.
And that's an important point, because when we think about social media, we may think about these social media platforms, but games also have a social media component.
Almost all online gaming features have some type of communication component that can just as easily be a platform for cyberbullying or internet predators as any other type of social media.
Okay, and parents need to talk about that as well. How often should we be checking our child's social media pages? How in-depth should we be looking at these pages?
Well, it's just, I guess there should just be a knowledge that children have sort of moved away from some of the mainstream social media platforms like Facebook. They're using things like Kik, Uvu, Yik Yak, various types of platforms that have emerged more recently that adults haven't infiltrated yet.
And may have not even heard of.
Correct.
And that's something parents need to be aware of as well. Many parents who do have this conversation with their kids think, okay, if my child meets someone online, they're not actually going to meet them in person, they're still safe.
Right. What we find is that predators are experts at manipulation and grooming. Access to the children has been made very easy for them via social media. So we find that it's easy for them to build a rapport, find out what children are interested in, take their side on issues, and it's really sort of an easier way to groom a child, really, and to gain their trust and ultimately have them view you as a friend instead of a stranger.
And you mentioned the word trust. So having a trust in place between yourself as the parent and the child is also important, so that you can actually view these sites that your kids are on.
Sure, yeah, and having an open dialogue and maybe even doing a little research of your own, giving yourself some credibility. Learning about these apps so that when we wouldn't learn how to drive from somebody who doesn't have a driver's license. So by learning, by understanding the language and being able to talk to our children at a peer level almost may allow us some insight into their online world.
Some parents may say, you know what I'll do, I'll take away the smartphones, I'll take away the computer, I'll take away the technology, but you say that's not necessarily the answer.
Well, I think for some that can work. I think for others it may just drive the activity underground and really remove only the parent from the equation. I believe that children will access social media, whether through friends, technology, or various other outlets. They will access it. So I think they need to be armed with the tools to keep themselves safe, to know ways to lower their risk, but we also as parents and adults need to be involved in those online worlds.
Thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We've been talking with Steve Doerner. He is Victim Advocate Coordinator for NOVA. I'm Jill Horner for Comcast Newsmakers.